Hello everybody, welcome back to Istanbul. We are here at the train station at Soğutluçeşme in Kadıköy. Soğutluçeşme is one of my favorite words in Turkish because it just sounds so Turkish. Soğutluçeşme, I love it. Guys, in this video, we're going to Ankara, the capital of Turkey. For anyone who didn't know, Istanbul is the biggest city in Turkey, but not the capital. That's Ankara. We're headed there. It's gonna be my first time. And we're gonna discover the city, see if it's worth visiting as a tourist, as a visitor. A few Turkish people have told me that Ankara is boring. So we're gonna find out if Ankara is boring or not. I'm excited to check it out. I've been wanting to go for a while. Here we go. This new thing, Terminal Kadıköy, has just opened. They've been renovating this place for a while. You can see it there, Terminal Kadıköy. It's supposed to be this upscale food hall concept. Here's the food hall. We've got bars. I see beers on tap. We've got like open kitchens. Physically, it looks really nice. I actually don't know where I'm going. I have to get to the Hizli train. There is a relatively new high-speed train that takes you from Istanbul to Ankara. And I'm taking it today in business class. So we're gonna check that out and see what that's like. And I'm meeting up with my friend Brian to go on this trip together. YHT Giriş. I think it's Yeni Hizli train. New fast train entrance, I think. Okay, I've made it. Günaydın.
Günaydın. Welcome to the high-speed train.
Is it Yeni Hizli train?
Yüksek Hizli train.
Yüksek
means
train.
high.
High-speed train. I thought it was new fast train.
You would think it is. It is new.
Here we are. Here's our train.
There's two models of the high-speed train. This is what I call the cyan or turquoise one. And then there's another one. It looks older, but it's actually the newer version. There's no example on this track. We'll check it out next time. I've tried both of them. They're both very good. To Turkey's credit, they've really invested in the high-speed rail infrastructure, so...
I've heard a lot about it. I'm excited to give it a try.
Yeah.
It's about a 4 hours and a half long journey to Ankara. Here you can see high-speed train, kind of like a bullet train shape. This is the business class product. You can see it has 2 seats on one side and 1 on the other. Brian and I booked separately, so we're sitting apart from each other. But I'm in 12C, which is right here.
Alright, so we are in the business class cabin.
The economy is like 780 Turkish lira, and the business is like 1,150 or something.
Yeah, it's gone up because the lira has had a lot of inflation. I remember it being 800, but that was about a year ago. The nice thing is, so sometimes the economy is actually even sold out, especially if you're last minute. And there's a secret where, I shouldn't say this online, but the last hour before departure, there are seats that are reserved in business class for kind of government bureaucrats and stuff that need to go between. So if you ever think that you're sold out for biz and you really just want to make it to Ankara because you don't want to have to fly, you can book last minute for this cabin.
Alright, let's check out the seat. They have a little foot pedal. We've got a wall plug there. 2 trays. 1 here and 1 in the armrest. Let's see. Oh no, it's a screen. Okay. So there's some TV, some music, and a live map. That's nice. Cool. Alright guys, and we are officially moving. Goodbye Soğutluçeşme. Very smooth.
Hoş geldiniz.
Merhaba, teşekkürler.
Çay kahve ne alırdınız?
Kahve alıp denedim.
Kahve. Şeker kremi olacak.
Şakasız lütfen.
Şey.
Evet, sade.
Sade.
Teşekkürler. So here in the business class they come through with tea or coffee. They got black coffee, a little box also. Afiyet olsun. Got a little sandwich here. Juice, mixed fruit, water, and marble cake or something. There is also apparently a cafe car with a more expansive menu, so we'll check that out in just a little bit as well. Alright guys, we're adventuring now to find the cafe car. We're about an hour and a half into the journey maybe. Let's go check it out. And here we are, cafe car.
It's not Michelin star, but there's snacks.
Yeah, they've got some snacks, some sandwiches kind of similar to what came in the box. And we have arrived.
And it's a beautiful station, much less stressful than Istanbul, and great ceiling height. You'll see it in a second.
Let's do it. Here's the station. Wow, it feels like an airport.
See, isn't it beautiful?
Very airy. There's a Caribou coffee over there. It looks like a little mall type situation, some stores at least. Very spacious atrium here. Very cool. All right, that is the train experience. My verdict on the train would be that it was physically very comfortable, very smooth journey. The food situation, especially in the cafe car, left something to be desired. They had a huge menu, but were serving none of it. Very, very, very limited options. It was good enough and it got us here in one piece. I enjoyed it. I think it's useful. Here we go. Let's go explore Ankara. All right, good morning, guys. It's the next day now. Coming to meet my friend Brian at a new spot here in Ankara called Basel. Let's go take a look. Here we are. İbrahim, günaydın.
Hi.
Neredeyiz?
Biz Basel'dayız.
Okay, now English.
All right, so this is kind of an American style, but it has a little bit of a Turkish flair. It's a salad, bowl, burrito place where you make your own. And one of the things Doug and I are always talking about is, in Istanbul, why are there not more healthy options? Sometimes it's very heavy, bready, meaty food. If you're like working remotely, if you want to try to be healthy or whatever, it can be harder in Turkey to find that because it's very, the baklavas screaming at you and the desserts and so this is a salad chain. There's now 4 branches. They're only in Ankara, so you got to come to Ankara to get it. It's Turkish. It's not that expensive. You can choose your own protein. So this is the kind of stuff we love to find. And sometimes the tourist bloggers don't show you that because they're showing you the traditional food. But if you live on the road, you're not going to be eating, a 7-course Turkish meal every day. You need some healthy things.
That's something that I'm always thinking about when making these videos. On one hand, you can focus only on the traditional stuff, but the reality is, as someone who lives here, you're looking for a little bit of diversity and to change it up every once in a while. And finding a place like this that's modern and new is really, really cool as well.
And this branch just opened a week ago.
So this is Gaziosmanpaşa, right?
Yes. It's kind of an upscale neighborhood in Ankara, and there's like a lot of great coffees. There's a macro center, supermarket here. So this is one of my favorite streets in Ankara, and we're just stoked that this place just opened in time for us to be here. So
we're gonna enjoy, and then we're gonna get out and explore Ankara. Stay tuned. Basel, please come to Istanbul, specifically Kadıköy neighborhood. Thank you so much. We are onward, heading off to explore. All right, macro center. This is like the best grocery store in Turkey, is it?
So if you're American, it's kind of like Whole Foods.
Okay.
If you are British, it's like M&S Food Hall or Waitrose. If you live in Dubai, it's like Spinneys. This is the nice supermarket across all of Turkey, and this particular branch, it's like an old building, but they redid it as this glassy one. And it's nice because in Istanbul, you don't get these bigger buildings. Maybe on the Asian side you might, where Doug is over, but like macro centers are usually really tiny and cramped. But in Ankara, you have a lot more space. It's more suburban.
All right, guys, our next stop is possibly the most famous or most well-known site here in Ankara, Anıtkabir. We'll talk more about it when we get there. Now, guys, a quick piece of advice if you're thinking of coming to Turkey, or really if you're traveling anywhere else in the near future. Dealing with local telecom companies in foreign countries can sometimes be a huge headache, and nobody wants to do that on their vacation. So my advice to you is to pick up an eSIM before your trip, and you'll be very happy you did. Airalo is the first and leading eSIM store on the market, keeping you connected here in Turkey and in over 200 other countries and destinations around the world. It's a 100% digital product, so it's totally waste-free, and it's also really, really easy to get set up. You just download the Airalo app on your phone, choose where you're going, select the plan that works best for you, and then with just a few more taps, you will be all set up and ready to go. And the best part is you can do all of this before you even leave home, so you'll be connected from the moment your plane touches down in your destination. Airalo was made to save you time and money, so no more big roaming fees from your home cell service provider, no more waiting in long lines at the airport for physical SIM cards, and no more stressing about where you're going to be able to find Wi-Fi on your trip. Airalo is trusted by me and over 20 million other travelers worldwide, so if you'd like to give it a try on your next trip, then download the Airalo app for free today and use promo code DougB3 for $3 off your first eSIM from Airalo. That's DougB3 for $3 off your first eSIM. We have made it to Anıtkabir. This is the final resting place, the tomb of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, father of the Turks, the creator and first leader of the modern Turkish Republic. So this is a hugely important place for Turkey. You can see the official guards here, similar to like a Buckingham Palace situation or something. Very stoic and unmoving, no changed facial expression. And here we are. This almost reminds me of like the Lincoln Memorial in Washington DC or something, architecturally, with the columns and then the inner hall inside. And then opposite the main mausoleum, you have this giant open plaza surrounded by these pillars or these walls. That's huge. And a lot of people around. It seems like mostly Turkish people. I'm sure there's some tourists as well. And I like the sandstone or whatever type of brown stone they're using here. I'm sure it's local, I'm guessing. Very epic.
All right, so here in Anıtkabir, there's a sign that says Hakimiyet kayıtsız şartsız milletindir. It's often actually phrased as egemenlik, which is the Turkish version. Hakimiyet is actually an Arabic loanword. And what that means is sovereignty is without restriction, unconditionally, of the nation. It's like a phrase that's used to talk about the Turkish sovereignty and the formation of the republic and kind of the way that they envision the national story for the people who participate in this political nation state, right?
Okay, here we go. Even the words on the side here, these big blocks of text on the walls are very, very similar to the Lincoln Memorial. It's cool to see. Got the big Turkish flag. Here's another guard standing right by the entrance, one on either side, and here is inside. Wow. So it's a huge marble room. The ceiling is really beautiful, kind of gold leaf or something, and it catches the light like a mosaic or something up there. Here is the actual grave site. There it is.
Esas duruş. Tüfek omza. İstikamet bayrak. Uygun adım. Marş.
Okay, so obviously we just caught some of the changing of the guard. That was really cool to see. We were still inside the main part of the mausoleum when it started, and all of a sudden we heard shouting and went over there. They just keep the people inside when it's happening, the changing of the guards in front of the door there, and then it continues out here. The voice they use is like different than I've heard in other places, just kind of screaming as loud as they can. You can hear how hoarse their voice has become from yelling like that. See, they're still doing a bit more over here. Let's see if we can catch the end.
Nöbetçi vukuatı olarak teslim ediyorum komutanım. Bıraktığı kolu kastamonu. Nöbetçi vukuatı olarak teslim oluyorum komutanım. Tüfek. Normal adım.
Geçiş yapmıyoruz. Sabit kalın lütfen.
Marş.
Geçiş yapmıyoruz.
Omza. Geriye.
Okay, so that was very cool. I love stuff like that, seeing how they do the changing of the guards. This one was cool because it was pretty dynamic. They were moving the crowd around. There's a few employees here that are not part of the official guard that are working on crowd control here at the site. And they're saying, okay, part the crowd now here. The guards are going to come through here. And so people were kind of moving all around as the guards make their way all around this site. Now here we are on the far side. We've got this view of at least a good part of the city skyline of Ankara here. And then got a view from one end, from the far end of the entire Anıtkabir site. Well guys, we have arrived now at our next stop, which is to this newish Presidential National Library. It's a very cool design. You can see it there behind me, and we saw it from the highway as we were coming in. Kind of reminds me of like Central Asia and some of the architecture I've seen over there. A bit otherworldly, a bit kind of extravagant. Let's go inside. Okay, so here's the main entrance hall. Check it out. Very grand, very ornate. Really cool. Wow, and it goes down and up. Alright, so in here they've got a cafe, and when you enter, you've just got like this wall of these water cups that you can take however many you'd like. And then in here is like a nice little cafe lounge area. More water. So, Brian, tell us about this place where we are right now.
Well, this place is loved by some people and it's not loved by other people. And I'm sure the commenters will make known who they are in that camp. Personally, if you set aside all the context, the design, all of that kind of thing, I think it's really great when a country has large places of learning and what we call third spaces where you can hang out. Right now we're in the cafe. Free water, free soup at 2 p.m. There's a lot of space here. There's a lot of students in Ankara. There's a lot of interesting periodicals and collections that are shown in the glass. And it's really a point of pride, I think, when new libraries are built. It's always, it's better that than not having them or having them be torn down, right? It just happens in some countries. One of the things I love about big, expansive spaces and libraries and new construction is it's designed to inspire. And what we've stopped doing in the Western world, we don't build big stuff anymore. When was the last time an amazing train station, amazing library was built? It's all history. Whereas in Turkey, they're still created new history. And what I love about a big space, especially like the atrium, it allows the mind to soar and the ideas to flow. Sometimes being in that space, you become a different thinker, a different person. And I think that's what libraries and places of worship, places of gathering are designed and should do, is inspire rather than make you feel small.
And now, for the grand finale of our Ankara visit, we are going to enjoy a big meal. ASPAVA. Let's do it. Meşhur Gülçimen ASPAVA emek. Video çekebilir miyim ASPAVA hakkında? Çok teşekkür ederim. Mükemmel. Teşekkür ederiz. Merhaba, kolay gelsin. Nice. ASPAVA, what does it mean? Well, it's actually an acronym and it stands for Allah sağlık, para versin, amin. Like, God, give me health and money, please. Amen. So, that's kind of funny. And basically the way this works is you order like one main dish off the menu, and then you get all of these like side dishes that are apparently kind of bottomless and unlimited. So we've got cheese fries, çiğ köfte, a salad, cheesy mushrooms, kaşarlı mantar, and more fries with like a doner sauce on it. And the main course is like a doner of some preparation. So the rest of the food is coming, but we already have a lot to get started with here. So this gentleman has come by with içli köfte. This is like meat inside of like a bulgur breading. Teşekkür ederim. Afiyet olsun.
Afiyet olsun.
Allah sağlık para versin. Amin. I've got it memorized now. Here is our içli köfte. I've cut it open. Gonna give a little lemon. Let's give it a try. Yes. Big bite. It's good.
Is it good?
And this is what, cacık? This is actually probably really nice and refreshing on this hot Ankara day. Okay, my main course has arrived here. This is like a doner wrap with cheese and onion and a little bit of sauce in there. Looks very good, recommended by the waiter. Let's give it a try. Çok güzel. It reminds me a little bit the flavors of Iskender, but there's onion in there, and you can definitely taste that. And of course the bread is different. This is like a lavash wrap, flatbread type thing. Very tasty.
All right, so I went ahead and ordered the et shish. I prefer when it's more just pieces. So it's a beef dish and there's some bulgur. And then they also came with this nice kind of fluffy, looks a lot like naan.
Afiyet olsun.
Teşekkürler.
So I told you guys there's a lot of freebies included in this ASPAVA experience. We're just kind of finishing up our meal a little bit, like halfway through. The waiter just comes up to me without a word, holds out his hand, and I look, whoa, what is this? And he has a pack of cigarettes. Offering us each a cigarette. I don't know if he's just being friendly or if that's part of the experience, but I thought it was funny. There he is. He's walking around to all the tables offering cigs. It is part of the service.
So I'm not a smoker. I don't think Doug's a smoker. But if you are a smoker, Turkey is one of the last countries on the planet where you really can kind of smoke anywhere.
Yeah, zero stigma whatsoever.
I have a problem, but you know, if you're a smoker, hey, you know, smoking's rights,
You
right?
came to the right place.
Yeah, Serbia is the other way too. Those are the two countries you can smoke anywhere.
And now we get our very own chai tower.
Mashallah.
Mashallah, indeed.
So Turkish tea is always served, or at least prepared, as a boiling pot below of just hot water, and then the actual, you could call tea concentrate. I'm sure there's a term that I don't know. Whereas, you know, in England, if you're brewing a pot of tea, you'll brew the whole pot as a tea bag. In China, you might brew with the loose leaf. In Turkey, this is what you're gonna see. So what's nice about this option is, although it's in a glass like this, so it's not served in ceramic mugs, you have to watch that you don't burn yourself if it's hot, right? You hold it kind of here. And what's nice is you can choose your concentration level. And I think these are the right terms I was once taught, but abdest suyu, which is a word for like the water that you cleanse yourself in a religious context, is like very light, weak tea. So just a little bit of tea and then mostly water. And then I think it's tavshan kana, you guys can correct me, it's like, it means like rabbit's blood. It's like when it's really thick tea. You can tell the person, like, I really like the concentrated thick tea. So let's pour some. But you're gonna wanna top it off and you're gonna burn yourself if you don't be careful. And then you're just gonna do this. Oops, so you can laugh at me there. So then you put there.
And that looks like a very nice color.
Solid.
I think that looks good.
Afiyet olsun.
Teşekkürler. What do we have here? Dessert time.
Looks like some halva and some kunafa. I could be saying the wrong words there because to me, sorry to stir the pot, these are more like Lebanese Arabic desserts. but they are very popular in Turkey, and especially southern Turkey. I think of Turkish desserts primarily as like sütlaç and those types of things, but these are also very popular. So you can roast me in the comments, but I actually don't exactly know how these are made. I think this one is just covered in honey, right? So
Yeah,
that's
with
good.
cheese in it, probably kanafa, right?
I think yeah, let's see if there is cheese. Maybe it's just sweet.
And this one has some Turkish ice cream in there that is melting very quickly, so we should give it a try. So this is like a soft...
Sugar with sugar.
Yeah, sugar with a little cream too. Yum. And a little bit of pistachio powder on top. Pretty good. All right, so there is some cheese in this kanafa. I need 2 hands here because it can be very stretchy. Like that. Yeah, this is really popular in the Arab world as well. Cheesy, syrupy, sugary cheese in a dessert. Kind of unusual maybe for some people. It's very, very good though. I prefer that one. Warm, a little crispy, very sweet, just drenched in that sugary syrup. I don't always love kanafa, but I actually really like that one.
Is it good?
Guys, we've moved on from our nice dinner there, and we've come to the old town of Ankara, which I didn't know existed until I came here. You can see a little bit behind me here. The view of the city up here is really, really cool too. You can see the old in the foreground and the new, or the modern, in the background, and it's very hilly. You can see that from up here. Really cool. We're gonna go into the citadel, the Ankara Kalesi, Castle of Ankara, and check it out in there. On the side of the castle here, you've even got some stones carved with Greek letters. And look at this. These must have been put back together, must have collapsed and then been rebuilt, because this one was put upside down. Not sure how that happens, but maybe they put it that way by accident. I don't know. Hey, buddy. Castle guard. Okay, all right. I'm not. Okay. Don't worry.
Nice dog.
Yeah, cute.
So I don't actually know a ton about this, but I will say this. If you're a traveler in Turkey, almost every city in Turkey is going to have a fairly well-preserved old town, citadel. Sometimes it's a castle, sometimes it's at the high point of the city, obviously, where they build castles. And everyone thinks Ankara, oh, there's no history, there's no seaside, there's no Adana kebab, why would I go there? And it's actually a really nice, not a particularly stressful or like touristic one. It's kind of just like here as a national thing. And I like that because you can walk around on your own and you're not like getting marketed to, or, you know, it's like not that stressful. And it's a really good example of a Turkish old school square.
Yeah. The architecture is beautiful up here. I feel like you're not in a major capital city all of a sudden. It's like a nice, charming little town. Maybe a good final point to come to in this video here in Ankara. My first impressions of Ankara. And at the beginning I asked a question, is Ankara boring? You just heard Brian's opinion and I agree with him. I think it's really cool. I think it's real Turkey. Seeing the capital of the country is super interesting. And I think there's plenty to do. I think there's history, there's modern kind of national icons, and some important political history things such as the Atatürk memorial site. So I really enjoyed it. I like the pace of the city. It doesn't feel as crazy or hectic as Istanbul. So guys, there you go. That's our 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed the video. And stay tuned because I have a lot more coming up from Turkey very, very soon. Brian, thanks for all your help.
Thank
Ibrahim
you.
Bey.
Good to see you guys.
Yep.
Enjoy your time in Turkey.
See you later. Görüşürüz. Bye-bye.